What do you think of the final play call, throwing a pass on 3rd and 3 with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left instead of running the ball? Chuck, I think you've already kind of alluded to what you think. Phil?
Given the tempo of that drive, they had run the ball like 5 or 6 straight plays and were moving the sticks, right? So I think in that moment, and didn't they take a timeout right before that too? Something they
Yeah.
stopped, you know, they were able to like kind of collect themselves. So I think in that moment, I understand the desire to go and win the game. So get this first down, and then it's you're just running the ball until they and to force the other team to call timeouts. But I don't know. I think in that moment, cooler heads like, all right, run the ball again, because worst case here, short of a fumble, worst case here is they don't convert and you punt and you give them maybe 90 to 80 yards of field to look at instead of that ridiculous, ricochet pick that ends up, all right, they've got to basically complete 2 passes and they're in field goal range and then they march down the field. But so I get why it was a pass called, I guess, because of the flow of the game. But I really think like risk reward there. I don't know what's happening. I will say this, like on a one view on TV, from I think the defensive view after it went off the dude's face. I think PJ Walker was throwing the triple coverage there anyway. So I'm not quite sure that pass would have ended up quite well anyway. So from a play call perspective, yeah, hindsight being 2020, but even so, you were getting 3 and 4 yards on a push on a good run up the middle that whole drive.
I'm going to give you an argument for passing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly not sure how I feel about this. I think a lot of times we get into these play calling discussions because the play didn't work. And
Yeah.
that's the only reason why. But I'm going to lay out an argument for passing, and then Chuck, I'm going to give you the final word to tell me why I'm
Oh,
wrong.
okay.
Um, they're expecting the run. You've been running it and running it and running it. So there's an opportunity to maybe get them a little bit off balance. You're not concerned about running any more clock on that play because the 2 minute warning is already coming. You know the clock is going to stop no matter what. You really need that first down to lock up the game. That first down probably wins you the game because now they've got to start using timeouts. And I just don't think you make a play call on the assumption that your quarterback is going to make a mistake, even if your quarterback is PJ Walker. At some point, you got to say, hey, these are the guys we put out there. This is the play that gives us the most options to try to get a first down. And so you run it. And ultimately, it's not a bad play call. You talk about some of those photos you've seen after the game, and Ford was wide open in the middle of the field. You dump it to him, and he falls down, and he's got the first down. On the other sideline, Njoku was open, and so what it really comes down to is the quarterback didn't make the read right. Again, he locked onto Amari Cooper and wanted to go there. And it's also just dumb fucking luck that the ball hits somebody's helmet and ricochets 15 yards down the field. Like, that's just not stuff that you can ever calculate into the play that you're going to call. Again, I wish they had run it because, maybe they would have gotten it and they would have won the game. But I think that's the argument for passing it in that situation. Chuck, why am I wrong?
I don't know if you're wrong. We're looking at this after it's happened, right? And you already alluded to Gerb. If he completes that pass, it's a different story. They run out the clock. They more than likely win that game. The reason I said I want them to run that ball is because I don't care if they ran it 7 times in a row. Statistically, your running backs, no matter who was on the field, were averaging about 3.9 to 4.1 yards a carry. Even if you don't get it, I defer to Phil, what he said. You pin them a little bit deeper than you would have anyway. And up until that point, the defense was playing so well. If they go down the field 80 yards or 75, whatever it is, tip your cap, go home, and you say, hey, it's not a moral victory, but whatever. I understand both options. But to me, I would have liked to see them run the ball just because they had some success with it. But again, if he completes that pass, because I saw the same picture you did, Gerb, Jerome Ford is sitting really on that first down line. And if he just falls forward because there's nobody around him, game's over. If he goes into Joko on the other side, and I kind of go back to my PJ was balling thing, for a third string quarterback, he was balling. But you're right.
Yeah.
He doesn't really look at many other options. He really, his head stays in one direction when he drops back. If he scans the field a little better, maybe we'll win this game. So I don't know who's right or wrong. I think there's good arguments on both sides, but since I said I would like to see the run, I'm going to go with the run. Even if they didn't get the first down, I would have liked to see them run there.